Alright, I'm live, ladies and gentlemen. This is Biblical DNA. Today, the topic is Tutorial for Beginners, Biblical Chronology, DNA, Culture, and Language Spread. Today's Hebrew calendar date is the 13th of Adar, year 5782. Chronology, Biblical timeline of era/periods in the Bible. Time periods: Early Bronze Age 3500 to 2000 BCE, Middle Bronze Age 2000 to 1600 BCE, Late Bronze Age 1600 to 1200 BCE. And this is a good timeline that I could find. Also found the YouTuber Useful Charts. He's made very useful chronology timelines. And the importance of these timelines is to get a grasp of the dates of periods of things that occurred, such as the creation of the world, the flood, birth of Abraham, Israelites enter Egypt, the Exodus, Temple 1 built, Temple 1 destroyed, Temple 2 built, Temple 2 destroyed. And you will, as you look this up, you will find out that there's different timelines based off of their belief of calculating the different periods that occurred, the years between. And I also will show you a useful BC calculator that I use. Now, we see that the flood happened around 2105 BCE. And so the Semitic language wouldn't have came before the flood, obviously, because Shem was part of the flood. So it would have came after the flood because the concept of Semitic or descendants of Shem or Semites, it's based off of Shem. So Semitic languages are only about 4,350 years before present, suggesting an origin of Semitic during the early Bronze Age. And what we're going to find out is the Akkadians, go back up to the chart, the Akkadians who first spoke Semitic languages. And then present day Hebrew or Phoenician would have came from old Semitic language of Arabia, which is the old Arabic language. I'll be discussing articles as shows. And this one is really important, the non-Semitic Hurrian brothers, because they were found to bear E-M34, which is under EM35, which is known as E1B1B. We'll go into the who were the Hurrians. And I'll also show the spreadsheet showing exactly how to understand and identify the haplogroups they're referring to in these academic articles. I'll be touching bases on the origin and the fusion of human Y chromosome haplogroup J1-M267. Another one is haplogroup J1-M267 expanded during the Paleolithic, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. Most probably the spread of Afro-Asiatic languages, the spread of mobile pastoralism in the arid. You can find this on the emergence of Y chromosome haplogroup J1E among Arabic speaking populations. So, what you come to notice is when they use sources, or when they cite these researchers citing other researchers who have found evidence, and they connect the dots. Subsequently, J1E lineages might have been involved in episodes of the expansion of pastoralists into arid habitats, coinciding with the spread of Arabic and other Semitic speaking populations. This expansion resembles the spread of Afro-Asiatic languages in West Asia. Both the spread of J1A1A1 page 58 and Afro-Asiatic languages could have been caused by the change of climatic conditions and the emergence of arid pastoralism, as suggested earlier. And a cheat sheet that I like to use is from hobbletree.info. It basically just gives you the breakdown, or it gives you all the hobble groups that's found on these academic articles placed on a website. It's so easy to go to, because you don't have to go to these websites and download the Excel spreadsheets and, make the Excel spreadsheet readable. So without further ado, I'll switch the screen to the first website. All right, this is the first website, and I'm actually gonna go to my go to the one I already have open and highlighted. It's much easier that way. Let's see. There we go. All right. Hopefully get it. Yeah. All right. Okay. Our statistical tests of alternative Semitic histories support an initial divergence of Akkadian from ancestral Semitic over competing hypotheses, e.g., an African origin of Semitic. We estimate an early Bronze Age origin for Semitic approximately 5,750 years ago in Levant, and further propose that contemporary ethno-Semitic languages of Africa reflect a single introduction of early ethno-Semitic from Arabia approximately 2,800 years ago. So let's get down to exactly what they're referencing. No, I had it saved somewhere up here. So the importance of Semitic dates back at least 4,350 years before present to ancient Sumer, Mesopotamia, where the Akkadian language replaced Sumerian. So the Sumerians weren't speaking a Semitic language. So the people that came and replaced them later on, the Akkadians, would have been speaking it. Now, there's some theories that the Akkadians are actually the Sumerians, but that's just hypothesis. That's just a theory. So a big thing that we have to remember when we're talking about the Akkadians is what I shared in my first post, as far as the Akkadian time period. See, this is where it'll conflict what they're saying, because the Akkadians didn't become really a people until around 2200 BC. So I'm going to take you to my calculator that I use is a BC calculator. It's probably the best one that I have found. If you know of a better one, please share. So as we can see, the Akkadian Empire wouldn't became to existence till 4,221 years ago, give or take. So that being said, the concept that Semitic languages would have spread around the 5,700 and so years ago is incorrect. That's not exactly when it was being spread. So if anybody has any questions on that, just please let me know. If I didn't clarify that, just please just message me or post a comment and just let me know. The next website that I want to share is going to be the genomic history of the Bronze Age Southern Levant. And this one's important because there's a concept that there's two non-Semitic Hurrian brothers that were found in their research. And on the same website, I'm going to show you exactly how to download an Excel spreadsheet that has the paternal and the maternal DNA. So let me get this pulled up. So with regard to the timing of these events, archaeology points to cultural affinities between the Kara Actress, the Caucasus, and Karabakh, Southern Levant. Archaeological cultures in the first half of the 3rd millennium BCE, and textual evidence documents a number of non-Semitic Hurrian from the northeast of the ancient Near East. Person names in the 2nd millennium BCE, for example, in the Amarna archive of the 14th century BC. And we're going to go ahead and skip down to the brothers, who they're referring to. These two individuals have the highest proportions of Zagros or Caucasian-related ancestry in our data set. Analysis of these outliers gave significantly stronger evidence of a Caucasus source compared with a Zagros one, although this conclusion might be revised once ancient DNA data from the Middle to Late Bronze Age in the Zagros region become available. The two Megiddo individuals with the next lowest Neolithic Levant component, these are their two IDs. I'm going to go ahead and copy them, and I'll paste it inside the Excel so we can remember those ID numbers. Brothers were found near the monumental tomb that was likely related to the palace at Megiddo, raising the possibility that they might be associated with the ruling caste. Indeed, a ruler of Tanakh, a town located immediately to the south of Megiddo, mentioned in a 15th century BCE cuneiform tablet found at the site, and the rulers of Megiddo and Tanakh mentioned in the 14th century BCE Armana letters found in Egypt. They carry Hurrian names, a language spoke in the northeast of the ancient Near East, possibly including the Caucasus. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and press supplemental information because we need to find out who these brothers are. So all you have to do is press supplemental information. .xlsx is usually going to be your spreadsheets, that is your spreadsheets, I should say. You're going to download them. Open that bad boy up. All right, and give me a second because now I have to share my screen to that one. All right. All right. Let's see what it's looking like. All right, so remember what I said? You're gonna post or paste the ID of the brothers. So I already know them by memory because I already have this open and I already highlighted them for everybody to see. So they're found in Tel Megiddo, Israel, dating to the late Bronze Age. And these are the two with the Hurrian names. So the maternal DNA belongs to T2C1 plus 146, while the paternal lineage, their Y-DNA, belongs to E1B1B1B2A1, E1B1B1B2A1A. So these are the non-Semitic Hurrian brothers. Now, if we go down to the last one in the Tel Megiddo, they found a late Iron Age. So if you know about ancient Israel, or you know about the Israelite Northern Kingdom, they were in charge of Tel Megiddo during that time. And if we scroll over, we see that the maternal haplogroup this individual carried was K1A, and his paternal Y-DNA was J1. Now, this individual burned in the fire, or was later burned in the fire. That's what the article states. If we go to Hazar, Israel, we see haplogroup J1A2B, and an individual carrying E1B1B1B2A1, just like the non-Semitic Hurrian two brothers above. Let's go over to see what their maternal. So that haplogroup J, the maternal side, carried HV1B3, while the E1B1B carried maternal R0A2. Let's see. Now, an important note to for everybody to see is the Bakal, the Jordan samples, which date to the Bronze Age, the late Bronze Age, middle to late Bronze Age. Now, these individuals would have been Moabites, and Moab descends from Shem. And as we can see, the paternal haplogroup of them was J1A2B. Now, these are your Moabites. Now, as we can see, their maternal DNA, they belong to a few different ones. U3A2A, N1B1, H23H1, U3A3, U3B3. They have a few different maternal haplogroups. HT2C1A. This one's similar to the Hurrian, the non-Semitic EM34 carriers. As you can see, they have different maternal haplogroups. So now, so who were the Hurrians? Well, I've came up to different conclusions of who the Hurrians were. I found out they were possibly descendants of the Hittites or the Horites. So the Hittites obviously descend from Canaan of Ham, and the Horites descend from Esau, Edom. So let's see. Britannica. I'm gonna open up Britannica. All right. So the Hurrian, one of the people important in the history and culture of the Middle East during the second millennium BC. The earliest recorded presence of Hurrian personnel and place names is in Mesopotamia records of the late third millennium. These point to the area east of the Tigris River and the mountain region of Zagros as the Hurrian habitat. And see down, you scroll down here, they were involved with the Hittites. They basically, the Hurrian likewise occupied a large section of eastern Anatolia, thereby becoming eastern neighbors and later partial dependence of the Hittites. So there's no question that they could definitely have been part Hittites of Canaan. So they definitely could have been Canaanites. Now, were these two EM34s Hittites? I don't know. They could have been slaves. Nobody really does know. And they were part of the ruling caste in Israel. So during that time would have been Canaanites. So the Hurrians, a neighboring tribe of the Hittites, probably had even closer contact with the Hebrews than did the Hittites. Hoffner said, two groups mentioned in the Bible, the Horites and the Hivites, were probably Hurrians, and Abdi Hepa, a Jebusite king who ruled Jerusalem 3 centuries before its conquest by Israel's King David, had a Hurrian name, Hoffner said. So this is found in the University of Chicago Chronicle, February 1st, 1996, volume 15, number 10. So let me see if I can share my screen to Bible Hub so we can see exactly who these people are. So as we can see, the Hivites were a Canaanite tribe, descendants of Canaan. And we can see Exodus chapter 3, verse 8, that the Amorites and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite, they were all connected. Hivite, the aboriginal tribes of Palestine. And see, this is the whole concept since E1B1B, more EM34 or E-123 was already aboriginal to the land. These people were called Hamites. I was going to go to the Horites. Now I'm going to do Horites. Here, Horites. A Horite found in First Chronicles chapter 1, verse 39. Homam, from Hamam, raging. Homam, an Edomitish chieftain. Homam. So, who did the Horites descend from? It pulls up Esau. So, if they were Horites, they were descendants of Esau. If they were Hivites, they were descendants of the Hittites. So these EM34s, we have no idea who they were, and they could have just been slaves. So, I mean, I don't know if there's any confusion behind that, but if you have any questions, just please leave that in the comment section. All right. The next website I want to go to is the Hobble Group J1M267 expanding during the Chaocalithic, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age. So I'm going to get that up for y'all. So this is the quote right there. It shows you the locations that it did expansion. And remember, the article that I showed earlier, it's based off of this research. Remember, researchers, they use each other's work. And this is it right here. At the beginning of the population expansion, people belonging to haplogroup J1 A1 dash page 58 probably migrated also to the northern regions of West Asia and Europe from the Arabian Peninsula, southern Mesopotamia, and Levant. Therefore, in the case of West Asia, this evidence based on the TMRCAs of the shared J1 A1 dash page 58 branches mirrors that of genome-wide ancestry. The migration of the J1 A1 dash page 58 lineages, though, was less pronounced towards the northern regions of West Asia and Europe, since the frequency of this haplogroup and the number of such branches are low there. During this time, and especially thereafter, the spread within the Arabian Peninsula, southern Mesopotamia, and the southern Levant was more intense, resulting in a large number of local branches and the high frequency we find today. This expansion resembles the spread of Afro-Asiatic languages in West Asia. Both the spread of J1 A1 dash page 58 and Afro-Asiatic languages could have been caused by the change of climatic conditions and the emergence of arid pastoralism, as suggested earlier. This is their conclusion. Haplogroup J1-M267 expanded during the Chalcolithic, the Bronze Age, and the Iron Age, coinciding with the spread of Afro-Asiatic languages combined with the diffusion of arid pastoralism in the desert regions of West Asia. All right, go to the emergence. The emergence of Y chromosome haplogroup J1E among Arabic-speaking populations. Subsequently, J1E lineages might have been involved in episodes of the expansion of pastoralists into arid habitats, coinciding with the spread of Arabic and other Semitic-speaking populations. Stop and read that part if you like. However, before the middle first millennium CE, a variety of Semitic languages were spoken throughout the Middle East. Recently, historical linguists have constructed novel classification trees of the Semitic languages in which the first split from the root of Proto-Semitics separated into East Semitic, Akkadian, Assyrian, Babylonian, and Ebelite, and West Semitic. When they refer to West Semitic, it's talking about the Proto-Semitic. It's an old Arabic language of Arabia. Old Arabic. This code distribution, its pattern of Y chromosome haplogroups J1E and EM123 resembles maternal DNA haplogroups J1B and pre-HV on distributions that also display low levels of diversity despite their high frequency in Saudi Arabia. So the EM123, they were already the original people in Neolithic times. As we see in the Natufian DNA, they've been there for 12,000 years. While these haplogroup J1Es are more of an early Bronze Age people. See, this is the problem right here. They basically went by based off of 5,750 years ago. But how do you have a 5,750 years ago Shem if he wasn't born yet? And they have no evidence that Semitic languages were being spoke 5,750 years ago. All right, what's this article? The Genomic History of the Middle East. We found an association between movement and admixture of populations in the region and the spread of Semitic languages. All populations investigated speak Arabic, a Semitic language of the Afro-Asiatic language family, with the exception of the Iraqi Kurdish group who speak Kurdish, an Iranian language belonging to the Indo-European family. And if I'm not mistaken, those people are high in the EM35s. These times overlap with the dates for the Bronze Age origin and spread of Semitic languages in the Middle East and East Africa, estimated from lexical data. This population potentially introduced the Y chromosome haplogroup J1 into the region. The majority of the J1 haplogroup chromosomes in our data set coincide around 5.6 KYA, agreeing with the potential of Bronze Age expansion. However, we did find rare earlier diverged lineages coinciding 17,000 years ago. The haplogroup common in the Natufians, E1B1B, is also frequent in our data set, with most lineages coinciding 8.3 KYA, or 8,300 years ago, though we also found a rare, deeply divergent Y chromosome, which coincides 39 KYA. In addition to the local ancestry from the Paleolithic and Neolithic people, we found an ancestry related to ancient Iranians, that is, Opticatus, today in all Middle Easterners. All right, so basically they show a map showing the spread of the Semitic languages. The timings of these events interestingly overlap with the origin and spread of the Semitic languages, suggesting a potential population carrying this ancestor, possibly unsampled yet from the Levant or Mesopotamia, may have spread the language. I think that's it. This is another one. It's with the whole concept that haplogroup J2 is the Phoenician signature haplotype. It just shows that J2 was found in the Levant during the time of the Canaanites, and the Canaanites were more of a city state. Let me see if I can bring this up. See, as well as city-states, Phoenician city-states. You can find the inhabitants of the southern Levant in the Bronze Age are commonly described as Canaanites. That is the residents of the land of Canaan. And this is back on the genomic history of the Bronze Age southern Levant. So these two are important to piece together. So it's identifying genetic traces of historical expansions, Phoenician footprints in the Mediterranean, and the genomic history of the Bronze Age, Southern Levant. So I think that covers everything I wanted to discuss in here. And if you have any further questions, oh wait, I still gotta show y'all the cheat sheet. I can't finish this without a cheat sheet now. Gotta put up the cheat sheet. All right. Let's see. I think it's up. Yes, sir. This is the cheat sheet. All right. This is hoplotree.info. This is the cheat sheet right here because you can basically find all the DNA samples or just majority. Like they might be missing one or two, but let me tell you, their stuff is on point. These are the Natufians. These people right here are pre-biblical, dating back to 12,700 years ago. Like I said, today's date in the Hebrew calendar it's only going to be 5,782. So today's 13th Adar, 5,782. So as you can see, these people are pre-biblical. And we can get down here where the expansion of the haplogroup J's in the Bronze Age. And I'm sure there's going to be more findings for the archaeologists that are working on this. I know, I believe his name is Israel Finkelstein. He's big. He's one of the leading archaeologists in Israel as far as finding the DNA of skeletal remains. The problem is that it's hard to find a genome in skeletons if there's no collagen left to test. Because without collagen in the skeletal remains, you can't really test for the genome. Without the genome, you can't find out the haplogroups. So this is the one sample that's brought up in the Philistines research, the post Ramses III. This is another one, RM269, post Ramses III, which is found in the amongst the Philistines. So if you have any questions, just feel free to leave a comment in the comment section and just ask me to clarify if you need any clarification on this. If you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe. If you like the content that I produce in this, I plan on continue making videos, working on PowerPoints as far as who are the Levites or the Kohanim. I am open to suggestions, and I also do video requests. Thank you for taking the time to watch this.